Hello YouTube. Sorry it's been a little while. Been a kind of a rough few weeks. I haven't put a video out. We had some weather, like I talked about in the last video. A lot of heat. Been pretty warm. So, I mean 100 degrees in Washington, so it was kind of a rough weekend a few weeks ago. And just some other stuff going on. So I did some cleaning out, so it's going to look a lot different from the last time we were out here, but we'll start over here with the tomatoes. I got the Romas once again. It's funny, here's the first Roma plant, and you can see we've got a bunch of tomatoes coming up over there. And here's the other Roma plant. Still got some fruit on there, but like you see height-wise, completely different. So, kind of weird. Cherry tomatoes, still growing up. And my super steaks. We had a nice red ripe one, but something I looked, it was down there, looked really nice when I walked up to it, but on the backside it was completely just chewed through, eaten out by some little critter around here. So somebody got to it, but getting some super steaks and a lot earlier than we did last year. Cucumbers, they don't look great, but I actually got some cucumbers, so that's cool. But my plants are kind of dying out a little bit. I think just water wise I'm kind of neglecting them. I apologize. Cucumbers and rest of the garden. You remember the big tall onions? I cut those down. I got some cleaning up there to do, so don't judge me. That's the chives. I cut all the little blossoms off. A lot of seeds inside of them, so I'll probably have a lot more chives next year. We cut the onions, harvested the onions because we had those like 4 foot tall. Actually, I've got them over here. These thick. You know, I kind of thought they were green onions. They were actually nice. We could eat them and chop them up, but the bigger they got, the harder they got. So we cut them up for a stir fry last week, and they were like you almost couldn't chew through them. So I cut those up. We had a couple of onions that were actually decent size. I'm thinking, and I have to do some research, but I think that by letting them grow up more, it probably spent too much energy, to those. Oh, there's Coops, by the way. Probably spent too much energy feeding that sprout versus the onion. They weren't very big when I pulled them up. There's a couple that were actually I got them in my. I'll show you here in a little bit. But I just pulled the bulbs up, cut it off, and I kind of reburied some of them there to see if I can't get them to, the onion to grow a little bit bigger. Might have killed them, but I don't know. We'll see. So here's my one lone little zucchini plant that has survived. We had aphids this year, lots of aphids, just decimated my zucchini. I got one zucchini that I'd harvested, and we've got a separate video of some of the things I harvested last week that I didn't put up yet. Here's my squash over here. They're doing a little bit better. I did the mound technique, which I don't think I'll do next year because they kind of grew out of the mound. You can see like the bottom of the root there. So I probably won't do the mound technique where you build up the little mound and plant them in there, because as I've watered, it's kind of eroded away from that mound and kind of left them kind of exposed there. So I doubt I'll do that again next year. We've got our green peppers. And actually, I got a pretty good sized green pepper going there. Jalapeno, I got one guy going there. I harvested one, and I'll show you here in a minute. Now my green beans, I'm going to sneeze here. Excuse me. Actually, I don't even know what these are. So I might have grabbed the wrong kind of bean, because last year, remember, I planted them like way too dense, and they shot up, but they went straight up. These are more of a vining, so I don't know if it's like a wax bean or. So I have to kind of look at the package. I thought I grabbed green beans, but these are just vining like crazy, and the beans are like a lot. Let's see if I can find one. A lot like light green versus like the way they were last year. So I think I might have got a different bean. So some successes, some not. Oh, I did in that other video I'm going to post also. It's a short video. I pulled up the garlic, so I got some actually some pretty good garlic. It's pretty garlic, so that was nice. Here is what I harvested. So the yellow squash, as you can see, we did get some nice yellow squash. Jalapeno that I harvested there, so good size jalapeno. So here's those beans. They're hard, so they're firm, they're ready to go. They're just like that really light green color. A couple cherries. Here's one of the onions that we saved there and decided to keep and harvest. So actually looks like an onion. So we'll cut those up. I'm sure they'll be delicious, you know, fruit of our labor. So there's where we're at. You know, sorry about the lack of content last few weeks, but did some cleaning up. I got some more cleaning up to do, so I'm gonna actually plant. I think it's been warm enough, and we'll probably see good enough feet for another month. I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna try to plant a couple more seeds for of the zucchini, and maybe I can get a zucchini harvest before we get out of the end of the season. So the lettuce was out of control, so I pulled that up, and it was actually eaten through pretty good by some kind of insect, so I pulled that. So I'm going to put some more lettuce down because that grows pretty quick. I'm sure I can get another harvest before the end of the season. Then I'm going to do some clearing a little quicker this year, and once we get a little cooler, more into the fall, I'm going to retry that broccolini experiment, and since they're a little cooler weather, and grow some broccolini in here again. So here's where we're at. So some successes. You know, like tomatoes are doing great. Cucumbers are doing way better than last year. The disappointing part was just the zucchini and the squash. So it is what it is. But we're doing, you know, good on some things, not on others. But hey, that's probably the circle of life. So there we go. That's it. Another episode from the Weininger Stronghold. Sean, we'll see you next time.